Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Living all over again.
As you can see, I changed up the video a little, added a few new things, made it just a pinch longer. Just because, want to, keep it fresh-ish, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, hello to Miss Lady Mist, and hello to Putin Cat. He's going to have a Christmas song. Oh, it's probably already come out, judging by the time he sent that. So we'll have to check that out here in a little bit. Okay. I didn't sleep much last night or this morning, depending on how you look at it, I guess. Let's see. We will share screen, and we'll see how quick we can just get this going. Higher screen. Hopefully some cigarettes will arrive soon. It's part of a muscle memory habit thing, so I don't have a cigarette now. Anyway, get rid of the little share thing. Actually, you know what? I'll just leave it for now. Anyway, let's jump in the mess. So, says Israeli army releases video of strikes in southern Lebanon. And of course, the video will play will have no sound because copyright is a thing on YouTube. But I do want, notice this explosion. Actually, let me back this up a pinch. Bob, shut up. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, it's okay. You know what? No one's going to stop her, so I have to stop her. Hold on. All right. All right. I'm back. The cat had to be let out. Anyway, all right. So notice it, like, this little house right here, all the way down, like, and I don't see any particular purpose for that. Hold on. It says, Israeli army handout videos show multiple strikes in southern Lebanon targeting what they say are underground munitions caches. It looks like they're just clearing the land, because if you look around here, let's make this a little bit fucking bigger. So, yeah, they've already gutted these. Are they going to, I guess they're saying there are underground munitions caches here too? They're claiming there's underground everything all over the place as an excuse to just shred the place. They're just clearing neighborhoods. That's what they're doing.
11 degrees? Maybe 11 or 12 or something like that.
Hold on a second.
Just let me know when you care enough to hear about it.
All right, sorry, my kitten wanted to talk to me. They want to tell me a funny story. They're like, "Oh, never mind," and I'm like, "No, never mind. I muted it. Fucking tell me the story." So, okay, let's make this bigger now. So, yeah, what a fucking mess. And this looks like this is also the foundation of a building from before. So it looks like they've just been blowing up the whole place. And honestly, it's an underground weapons cache is such a fucking worn out excuse. Honestly. Like, oh, they have underground this and underground that. Like, yikes. Yeah. It's just them destroying the place. It was honestly, I don't think it was ever really about, underground this or that. It never really was. Anywho, next article, the BB Files review. A powerful expose on how Benjamin Netanyahu has prolonged the war in Gaza to escape his own corruption scandal. I fucking told y'all that like 6 months ago. I told y'all like 6 months ago, starting out 6 months ago, maybe longer, that he was doing this as a way to prolong, his power. Yeah. This fucker. And I give this guy shit about it. But I know all our politicians are that fucking shitty. I know they are. But, this one just seems to be what comes up on my algorithm from news. And this is the headline I pick. The BB Files, directed by Alexis Bloom, is an extraordinary and essential documentary. I didn't know that was a documentary, but we can look that up later. Maybe it's on Netflix or something. I don't fucking know. Actually, I don't know. Doubt Netflix would do it. It follows the corruption scandal that has engulfed Prime Minister Netanyahu like a toxic cloud. More than that, though, it's about the accusations that he's been trying to squirm out from under since 2019, when he was first indicted on charges of bribery and fraud, have changed his identity as a politician. Damn. The film makes a powerful case that Netanyahu's alliance with the far-right fringe of Israeli politics, which has culminated in his grotesque compulsion to prolong the massacre in Gaza with no end in sight, is driven by his attempt to evade charges against him. That's what I kind of figured. That's part of it. I mean, all the land they're taking, and I think they found a huge, I don't know what you would call it, but an underground, I guess they discovered gas, fossil fuels off the coast of Palestine, or off the coast of Gaza specifically, and they were already selling off the rights to, I forget which company, but it would be easy to look up. And that was last year, a month after they found it, they were already taking bids and shit. As long as the war goes on, it becomes his excuse to stay in office. Underneath it all, the documentary argues that Netanyahu is terrified of being toppled and imprisoned, to the point that he is willing to rip a hole in the Israeli society to avoid it. When national leaders are accused of corruption, the charges tend to be serious. Richard Nixon was brought down by a litany of crimes. Ronald Reagan oversaw the Iran-Contra scandal, a transgression that was, in my view, more serious than Watergate, which I'd agree. I would actually agree. Donald Trump has been charged with crimes ranging from election interference to sexual assault. So when you hear about the scandal that has consumed Netanyahu, it may, at first, seem shockingly trivial by comparison. No, I don't think that it is. He's accused of bribery and fraud, the heart of the charges relating to gifts he received, a pattern of sponging off the generosity of wealthy and influential friends, tycoons who plied BB and his wife Sarah with, I don't know what kind of cigar that is, but cigars, rivers of champagne, and very expensive jewelry. Fuck, and he comes and begs us for money all the time. Unbelievable. The reason this may at first come off as trivial is that the national leaders tend to have and enjoy their perks. Many U.S. presidents, from John F. Kennedy, who smoked Cuban cigars, and no one spent a lot of time asking where they got it from. Yet Israel is a different sort of place. 76 years after its founding, it remains a spiritual, austere nation rooted in the bare bones socialist ethos of the kibbutz. Netanyahu's propensity for living large has only grown larger during the 17 years that he has been prime minister. For him, it's become an issue with entitlement. I agree there. He and his wife Sarah, what I was trying to say, who very much rule as a conjoined power couple, travel everywhere and are treated like royalty. Notably at the White House. Returning home, they want that lifestyle to continue. And according to the Israeli journalist Raviv Drucker, who is one of the film producers, Netanyahu has sugar daddies all over the world. Probably not like in the way you're probably thinking sugar daddies, but just like idiots that are willing to give him fuck tons of your tax dollars. In Israel, a pattern of accepting gifts like these is considered a serious infraction, especially when it looks as though the favors may have been returned. Like, for instance, the tax law that Netanyahu was accused of bending for his good buddy, the Israeli-bred Hollywood producer Aaron Milchan. Far lesser scandals have brought down the careers of Israeli politicians. But as the BB Files captures, Netanyahu, in becoming the longest-serving prime minister since the founding of Israel, has developed a messianic streak. In his mind, he's become the state, not just a representative, but the embodiment. Sorry. He thinks that he's impervious, and that he's reaping what he's owed. So it basically goes on and on like that. I feel like wow, this person, it's a long fucking article. God damn. You know what? I'm just gonna post this in the comments, and y'all can see it at your leisure. But that's a long fucking article. I'm not doing all that. So I'll put that right there. Oh wow, that is a really long article because it's in two places. So yikes. Oh well, I'm sure it can be found. Anyway, next article. Jesus. Prosecutors intend to indict Feldstein and second suspect in the PMO leak scandal, asked to extend detention. Yeah, so apparently this guy leaked information and paperwork basically showing that they were frauding up paperwork, making it look like Hamas was doing stuff that Hamas was not doing. So the state's attorney's office says it intends to file the indictment against Eli Feldstein, a central suspect in the Prime Minister's office's security document scandal, and one other suspect in the affair. As such, the state attorney's office filed a declaration of prosecution to Rishon Magistrates Court, asking to extend the detention of the two suspects by another 5 days until it's able to file an indictment. They probably want to make sure that they don't talk to anybody and say anything to the press. The office also says that when filing the indictment, it comes to seek and keep the two suspects in prison until the end of the legal proceedings against them. This morning, the Supreme Court accepted an appeal by the state against the decision to release Feldstein and the second suspect to house arrest, stating that the considerations of the public security justified keeping them in detention, given the danger posed by the respondents at this stage. Feldstein, a Netanyahu aide who had previously served in the IDF spokesperson unit, is suspected of having worked with 4 intelligence officers to steal classified material from the IDF. He is reportedly suspected of leaking material from one document to the German publication Bild, whose publication is said to have harmed efforts to free hostages held in Gaza and expose Israeli intelligence sources. Now, since they're not doing too well on freeing hostages anyway, because they just keep blowing shit up, what it is like, if the paperwork is actually showing that Israel is lying about what Hamas has been doing, and they were caught doing that. That's probably what they mean. It's been harming their negotiations. But, okay. Next article. According to the World Bank, Israel-Hezbollah war cost Lebanon $8.5 billion in physical damages and economic loss. And I really believe there's another reason for why they're tearing up the fucking place the way they are. Now, I don't remember where I heard it, but this was about 20 years ago when the Afghan war and the Iraq war were doing its thing. And I remember someone telling me that one of the perks, basically, to carpet bombing shit the way they did is that the country that you do that to cannot afford to rebuild. So if they want to rebuild, they basically have to take a loan, say, from America. And so America basically, like, all right, you owe us this, this, and this, and they give you all the building materials to give you what you need to rebuild. And if you default, they basically own you. So this is basically one of the reasons they're doing what they're doing in the way that they are doing it, is because they want to make sure that at least financially they own this country, because they cannot afford to rebuild. There's no way that Lebanon is going to be able to, at least not anytime quickly, rebuild $8.5 billion in damages. Plus, they're busy wiping out their workforce too. So, but I figured I'd throw that out there. So yeah, let's see, housing has borne the brunt of the destruction, with nearly 100,000 housing units damaged. Yeah. So much for military targets, huh? Yeah, that's not even a thing anymore. Next article. The look on this guy's face. I feel this look. I have this same look every time I see Ryan Walters pop up in the news. I have the same fucking look, this kid. God love him. I don't know who he is, but it's funny as fuck. All right, so Ryan Walters, like I said last few times I've bitched about him, he wants to spend a total, possibly, or more, of $6 million on Bibles, Trump Bibles, because, the regular Word of God's just not good enough for this guy. He wants Trump Bibles. And I do believe they are approximately $80. And let's see. So it says 500 plus, but we'll just say 500. Either it's 500 or more. So far he has spent $40,000 in tax. I used a calculator to make sure I didn't fuck that math up. But he has spent $40,000 in taxpayer money on this. And the fact that they found a way to manipulate the law to where it says, the only Bible that works, it's going to be allowed, is one that has the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and that stuff in it. Oh my God. And so, yeah, they made sure that the criteria fit only the Trump Bible. These people, man, this is right next to having a golden cow and worshiping it. And then they're going to be surprised when the ground opens up and eats the little fucking weirdos. Fucking idolaters. It's insane. I mean, you can like Trump, that's fine, but buying his Bible, I feel it's creepy. These people treat him like he's the second coming of Jesus. Fucking ridiculous. Nobody should do that. It's creepy. I am seeing if I cannot. It's not gonna let me. Oh, okay. I will do it without sound because again, copyright. But I made it to where you can read it.
Bibles now on there.
Well, fuck me. I forgot to mute that. For a vendor for 55,000 Bibles. But, yeah. The department says that the Bibles they purchased are separate. What? So why would it be separate from that request? Yeah, he is such a little fucking weirdo. He really is. And he's hoping so hard that he gets like some kind of nod from Trump when he runs for governor of Oklahoma. He really is. Hmm? Reservists killed in Gaza Strip, hostage holders said incommunicado. Huh? Oh, well, this is the way of things. This motherfucker. I really thought I did look at this article last night. I don't know why it's. I think I was showing somebody. I don't think I saw it on the. No, okay, I just showed it to somebody. Okay. So, GOP Senator Mullins calls on the House to release Gatz's ethics report. All right, this fucking thing. This motherfucker, oh, I hate him so much. He is such a salty ass bitch. Okay, he's been doing insider trading, and for some reason, nobody's fucking stopping him yet. I think a lot of the people that would normally stop him are embarrassed they voted for him, so they're kind of just turning a blind eye. But yeah, he's been doing insider trading. He's an absolute coward and an embarrassment. He really is. Like, oh my god! Every time I see him in the news, I'm just like, Jesus Christ! People are gonna know he's from here. It kills me. But yeah, he's such an asshole, and he likes to brag that he used to fight MMA. Dude, if you look up Mark Wayne Mullins' record of MMA fights, he had like, I think 3 or 4 fights. I think 3. One of them, I guess, was a tie or a draw or some fucking stupid shit like that. And 2 of them that he won, finger quotes, won, I looked at who his opponent was. Same guy both times, and that person's record never won a fight before. So, yeah, so basically his claim to fame or whatever is that he won 2 fights, 2 MMA fights against an opponent who's never won a fight in MMA before. So, we got ourselves a Jean-Claude Van Damme over here. Oh, damn. Nah, he's a fucking ponce. I hate this guy. God help me, I hate him so much. Anyway, so, yeah, so apparently Gatz got a good gig from Trump. He got appointed to something. And Mullen, being the kiss ass to Trump he's been, is now salty and jealous that happened. So he's like, well, I'm going to release his ethics report. I think all y'all's fucking ethics reports should be released. All of you. All scumbags. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, Sunday, the Senate absolutely should have access to the House Ethics Committee report from its probe into the misconduct allegations against former Representative Matt Gaetz. Now, that I do agree with. I think all their fucking business should be public to us. Who resigned from Congress last week after President-elect Trump tapped him for the Attorney General role. And he's a salty, jealous bitch. Even though they're all awful. Mullen said the findings from the ethics probe should factor into the Senator's decision as they proceed through Gaetz's confirmation process. I agree. I absolutely agree. If the guy has been inappropriate in any way, he absolutely should not have the job. I absolutely agree. You know? But he's only saying this because he's jealous. Absolutely, Mullen said in an interview with NBC, Meet the Press. When asked whether the House Ethics Committee should release the report on Gaetz, he goes, I believe the Senate should have access to that. Now, should that be released to the public or not? Mullen continued, I guess that will be part of the negotiation. So he's not even sure he wants the public to know, though. And so he just wants enough for the old boy not to get the job that he was wanting. But he's not sure it should be released to the public. He's not sure on that. See, they're scumbags. They are. They are absolute scumbags through and through, all of them. I guess that will be part of the negotiations, but that should be definitely part of our decision making. Mullen, in the interview, was asked about past comments he made criticizing Gaetz, including when Mullen said in the last clip, we all had seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that he had all of us walk away of girls that he had slept with, adding, this is the type of individual that Gaetz is. Man, that is very tacky for a guy, especially on the Senate floor, to be showing videos to his colleagues about the girls he's sleeping with. Gross! That is not appropriate. That is not appropriate behavior at work. Absolutely not. Mullen acknowledged the difficult relationship he's had with Gaetz in the past, but said Gaetz, as any other nominee, should get a fair shot. But there is no question that Matt Gaetz and I had our differences, and that's no secret. Moving forward, I do respect Trump's right to appoint these individuals, but underneath Article 2, Section 2, Congress has advised and consent, and Matt Gaetz is going to go through the same scrutiny as every other individual. And I'm going to give him a fair shot, just like every individual. I got to set my personal situation with Matt to the side and look at the facts. If he's qualified, he's qualified, Mullen said, adding that he did not know Gaetz was an attorney until he researched him last week. You didn't know that your colleague was a fucking attorney until you looked it up last week? Is he fucking for real? How do you not know that somebody you're working with, like, you know what? Fucking never mind. Fuck you, Mullen. Jesus Christ. Mullen said he trusts Trump to pick some really, really good people, noting his ability to do so has aided him in business and politics. So I have no doubt that President Trump believes that Matt Gaetz is the right person to do the right job. But at the same time, the background of Matt Gaetz does matter. And what the decision that the Senate makes has to be within our boundaries of the constitutional authority that we have. And we have to do our due diligence there. The ethics panel has for years been investigating Gaetz, exploring whether he engaged in sexual misconduct, illicit drugs, among other allegations. He has vigorously denied all allegations of wrongdoing, and the Department of Justice has previously investigated whether he had had sex with a 17-year-old and declined to charge him with a crime. That's some cringe. It's got cringe written all over it. A man that age has no business being around a 17-year-old girl. I mean, they're like, it's like, why? Why would you even be within the vicinity of a 17-year-old girl at that big age? That's gross. Y'all got nothing to talk about, buddy. No. You stay away from girls that are that young, and then you won't be blamed for shit. Anyway, the Ethics Committee investigation, however, came to an abrupt end Wednesday when Gaetz resigned from the House shortly after Trump nominated him to serve as Attorney General. The ethics panel does not have jurisdiction over former members of Congress. Ooh, I wonder if Trump, by chance, helped Gaetz out by giving him this job so he wouldn't be investigated. Gotta question everything. Even if it's uncomfortable, you gotta question it. It remains unknown what path the panel will follow with Gaetz's report. Some Republican senators have pushed for the Senate Judiciary Committee to be granted access to the report and the probe's finding as they go through the vetting process. I feel like they should. I mean, come on. What's the point of vetting the guy if you're not going to look at everything? Speaker Mike Johnson, who's a piece of shit, however, said that it's not within the Ethics Committee power to release the report because Gaetz is a former member and not a current one. Well, maybe if they had been watching him closely and maybe investigating some of the stupid shit he'd been doing while he was still an official member, we wouldn't be in this situation. Mike Johnson is a little skis ball and has said it since the day he got fucking sworn in. But we'll continue with that because we got this shit right here. So Johnson urges Gaetz's report should stay sealed as ex-representatives are private citizens. Well, I feel like that's just a gray area because he's leaving one job and then wanting to become attorney general. So, it's just a transition. He's still in the game. I still feel like that's fair game. It really is. This little guy right here is a scumbag. I'll tell you that right now. House Speaker Mike Johnson reaffirmed his view that the possibly damaging House Ethics Committee report on former Representative Matt Gaetz should remain sealed. It's a big boys club and we're not in it, boys and girls. It matters. Gaetz, President-elect Trump's controversial pick for Attorney General, resigned from the House Wednesday, making him a private citizen. I love the quotes. Johnson argued, but senators tasked with confirming the president-elect pick have made bipartisan calls to see the report. Axios, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Axios reported Friday that Johnson said that he asked the committee not to release the findings, saying that it would be a terrible precedent. Okay, so let's break this down just a tiny bit. Not that I really need to. This pretty much speaks for itself. But the Speaker of the House thinks that it would be a terrible precedent to I guess properly investigate the behavior of one of the representatives before they become attorney general. That sets a terrible precedent. You know what sets a terrible precedent? All these assholes getting away with the shit that they do. They're running around just doing the scandalous shit they do, and they're covering for each other. This is them covering for each other. It's what it looks like. Why is it terrible? If you've done nothing wrong, and you're a public official. If you've done nothing wrong, you should have nothing to hide. If this sets a terrible precedent, it means that he's got skeletons in his closet too. In the closet with his fucking skeletons. Anyway, but Johnson told CNN's Jake Trapper Sunday that the House Speaker is not involved in the Ethics Committee work because the Speaker can't put a thumb on the scale and have anything to do with that. I feel like he doesn't really do anything. But, yeah. If he has nothing to do with that, then why is he saying that it needs to stay sealed? He should have no fucking opinion at all then. Driving the news. Johnson appears on CNN, State of the Union, reiterated that the reasoning the report would be a Pandora's box, arguing that there is very important protocol and tradition. Yeah, a tradition of covering up crimes and misbehavior. That the committee's jurisdiction does not extend to non-members. A Pandora's box. The fact that he is saying that the background reports on their behavior would be a Pandora's box is so fucking telling. It is. Oh my God. I don't know how the Republicans have ignored that he is such a piece of shit for so long. I think they just hate to be wrong. But fuck, own that shit. Get rid of him. But Trapper noted that the House Ethics Committee has released reports on lawmakers after they resigned in the past, pointing to a former Representative William Boner of Tennessee and William Lukens of Ohio. Johnson acknowledged that they were exceptions to the rule. And I wasn't speaker at that time. I'm speaker now. Ooh, okay. So he's saying that they have nothing, his job has nothing to do with this. But now he's basically saying that because he's speaker, it's not going to happen. So he knows the dirty shit they've been doing, and he's been covering it up. I can't remember that guy's name off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember. The guy who took a shot at Reagan. Like, I was going to make a joke, like, where's that guy when you fucking need him? But anyway, but he added the speaker does not have the authority to stop the release of the reports. But wait, hold on. He goes, the speaker does not have the authority to stop the release of the reports by the Ethics Committee. But right here, he goes, those were exceptions. I was a speaker at that time. I am the speaker now. I feel like this is a bit of a contradiction right here. Are you feeling that? I'm feeling that. I am feeling that contradiction right there. Yeah, and him saying that, you know, he'd asked them not to release it. So how are you going to say that you don't have the authority to stop it when you're literally trying to stop that from happening? The more you hide something, the more I know you're a scumbag. So I hope Santa takes this fucking piece of shit little elf back to the North Pole with him. I hate this guy. All right, next article, boys and girls. So there's two articles with this one because, you know, large food convoy violently looted in Gaza, Anwar says. A convoy of 109 trucks was violently looted on Saturday after entering Gaza, resulting in the loss of 98 trucks. That's a lot of fucking... How do you lose 98 fucking trucks? That's a fucking lot, mind you. And an official from the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian Refugees, that's Anwar, has said, the looting was one of the worst incidents in more than 13 months of the Israeli assault on the besieged and bombarded enclave, said by Lise Waterridge, senior emergency officer for Anwar. The convoy was carrying food provided by UN agencies. Anwar and the World Food Program was instructed by Israel to depart at a short notice via the unfamiliar route of Karim Salim. My pronunciation is shit, and I apologize. Crossing with Gaza. This incident highlights the severity of access challenges to bringing aid into southern and central Gaza. Waterbridge said, adding that injuries occurred in the incident. The urgency of the crisis cannot be overstated. Without immediate intervention, severe food shortages are set to worsen, further endangering the lives of over 2 million people who have depend on humanitarian aid to survive. UNRWA did not specify who carried out the looting. Now, to be fair, as I try to be, I did assume that it was Palestinians because when you've been bombarded for 13 months and food has been scarce, and you think, hey, I could be bombed at any second, you want to rush up and get that food. That makes fucking sense to me. It does. But it turns out that's not who fucking did it. I was wrong on that one because I would have guessed Palestinians. And to be fair, if you're starving, I get it. But we'll get to it in a minute. Israel claims it does all it can to ensure that enough aid enters the coastal enclave. First off, with all their superior firepower, I'm pretty sure if they were actually ensuring it, it would get done. Let's be honest now. Come on. However, the UN aid official said on Friday that Gaza's aid access had reached a low point, with deliveries to parts of the besieged north and enclave all but impossible. So, like I said, I assume the Palestinians had done this because they were desperate and hungry. And that makes fucking sense to me. But no. Gangs looting Gaza aid operate in areas under Israeli control, where, the same areas where kids go play soccer and get shot in the knee by IDF snipers for fun. So, guess who the gangs are? I bet you can follow this. I bet you know. Oh, hairball there. As Gaza's hunger crisis worsens, organized gangs are stealing much of the aid allowed into... Ooh, cigarettes. Thank you. I love these.
Sorry, love you too.
Mwah. Sorry, I'm excited. I got cigarettes now. All right. Hold on. Now I got to figure out what was that. All right. Let's see. Organized gangs are stealing much of the aid Israel allows into the enclave, which is probably why they're actually allowing it in, because they know it's not going to make it to their destination. Operating freely in areas controlled by Israeli military, according to the aid group officials, humanitarian workers, transport companies, and witnesses. Plus, there actually has been footage of these gangs pulling truck drivers out and beating the crap out of them and basically punishing them for trying to bring food to Palestinians. It's pretty disgusting. Let's see. I can pull up some footage of that probably in a minute if you like. Officials said criminal looting has become the greatest impediment to distributing aid in the southern half of Gaza, home to the vast majority of the displaced Palestinians. Armed bands of men have killed, beaten, and kidnapped aid truck drivers in the area around Israel's Karim Shalom crossing, the main entry point into Gaza's south, aid workers and transport companies have said. So yeah, these men right here, these aren't Palestinians. There is no way IDF would just be standing around letting Palestinians run amok with guns. There's not a fucking chance. So they're saying it without saying it. And we know exactly who the fuck they are. In fact, I will pull it up for you and see if I can find it. Gotta get the right wording. Settler violence against aid workers. All right, let's see what we find. Settler violence. Because somewhere there was a video where one of the guy was getting pulled out of his truck and beaten. Knowing my luck, I probably won't find it in time, but I know it's around somewhere. Let's see. Food truck. I'll add that. Maybe that will help narrow it down. Food delivery workers face violence. Desperate for food, hungry refugees swarm aid truck. Aid truck enters Gaza, but UN chief says people need much more. That was from last year. This is apparently there's people all over the world that have need food. So I'm getting fucking news from everywhere on this. Well, next time I'll come more prepared. But anywho, nonetheless, Where is that shit? Okay, there. So our men have been killed. Armed bands of men have killed, beaten, and kidnapped aid truck drivers in the area around Israel's Shalom crossing, the main entry point. Blah blah blah. We got that. The thieves who run cigarette smuggling operations throughout this year, but are now also stealing food and other supplies, are tied to local crime family. Gotta love it. The residents say the gangs are described by observers as rivals of Hamas. In some cases, they have been targeted by the remnants of Hamas security forces in other parts of the enclave. I mean, that makes sense. So, yeah. And who's normally the rival of Hamas? IDF, settlers. I mean, they're basically saying it without saying it. Israelis are basically attacking aid food trucks and beating the shit out of people and stealing the food so it can't get to these kids here that need it. Fucking lovely. Can you imagine the piece of shit monster that you fucking have to be to, like, want to starve children to death? It's so fucking gross. Like there is a special place in hell. Like molten lava fucking hell. It has to be. There's no justice in this world, I swear to God. An internal United Nations memo obtained by the Washington Post concluded last month that the gangs may be benefiting from the passive, if not active benevolence or protection from the Israeli Defense Forces. Oh, there we go. The IDF's protecting them. One gang leader, the memo said, established a military-like compound in the area, restricted, controlled, and patrolled by the IDF. The IDF is helping do this. So when dipshits saying, oh, we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that food gets to the Palestinians, they're lying. They're lying. If they wanted that food to get there, that it would. The fact that they play at our fucking face, and they're using your tax dollars to do it. Someone's messaging me. Hold on. Oh, it's just a notification. Never mind. Anyway. Sorry. Next article. Biden and Blinken threaten to leave Israel alone, deny weapons over Rafah offensive. Netanyahu claims. Netanyahu claims this. Okay, first off, these two, Biden and Blinken up here, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, fucking, they've been like, well, if you don't do what we say and this and that, we're going to send you a strongly worded letter and we're going to shake our finger. They ain't going to do a jack fucking shit. Not a motherfucking thing. So I doubt, seriously, that Biden and Blinken said they were going to, deny. Netanyahu is saying this because he's trying to, cry for sympathy so people will feel bad for him. Which is ridiculous. But they claim this kind of thing. But guess what? They're sneaking money to him. It's not just the normal, your tax dollars and whatnot that's getting sent over there. There's actually other money that's getting sent. And I will show you here very soon. I think. Do I have that? Do I have that article up? Nope. Fuck me. I'm going to have to figure out where that article went. Shit. Actually, I will show you in a minute because I made a Facebook story of it. Why the hell I didn't save it in the tab, I don't know, and I apologize, but I will show you. President Biden and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken both threatened to leave Israel alone and deny the Jewish state its military critical weapons ahead of the planned offensive in southern Gaza. More offensives in southern Gaza. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealed on Monday. During the secretive meeting with the Israeli Parliament Committee, Netanyahu disclosed that Biden, 81, I don't know why his age is being listed, who cares, began warning him in April. So when I say he ain't going to do a motherfucking thing, yeah, he's been shaking his finger at him since April. He ain't going to do shit. Shut the fuck up, Biden. You ain't going to do a goddamn thing. That's why you're being made to leave. You're so awful, even your own party didn't want you in there. Anyway, so in April against the assault in the city of Rafah, even telling the prime minister that you will be left alone, the right-leaning Israeli outlet Now 14 reported. Netanyahu, 75, told members of the Knesset's Foreign Affairs that the Security Committee that he replied to Biden We will do it alone, foreshadowing the public remarks that he would make early in May. We'll do it alone. Bitch, if you could do it alone, you would have. Why did we have to send you so many fucking missiles and bombs and billions upon billions of dollars? Bitch, you are a willful fucking spoiled child is what you are. Jesus Christ. I'll do it alone. You're not doing it alone. You're getting money off the ass. You think we're the only country giving these assholes money? Fuck no. Germany's got this weird fucking, I don't know. They always take the wrong side. If there's ever a conflict and you see Germany involved, whatever side they're on, pick the opposite. They have a history of choosing bad. Days after the phone call, Blinken also traveled to Israel to meet with Netanyahu and discourage the offensive by saying, "You will not have weapons." Netanyahu reportedly shot back, "We will fight with our hands and nails." Well, they're used to using nails on people, I guess. The Prime Minister also crowed that the U.S. officials have vastly overestimated the number of potential civilian deaths in Rafah assault, putting the number more likely the fatalities at 20,000. And when was this? Was that in April? Well, whatever. The fatalities are more like 200,000. They just lie to you about it. While there has been some tragic sarcasm, you see this. I can hear the sarcasm in the quotes. There are some tragic civilian killings. Now, Netanyahu said that in the joint address to both Chamber of Congress in July that the lowest ratio of combatants to non-combatant casualty came in Rafah. And he's not even saying what the numbers are. He's just saying it was lower. At least they're not trying to deny there were civilians killed this time. For the first 3 or 4 months, they were trying to claim that no civilians were being, not many were being killed. It was, yeah. Remember what so many people said. If Israel goes into Rafah, there will be thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of civilians killed. There were. There fucking were. I asked the commander there, how many terrorists did you take out in Rafah? He gave me an exact number, 1,203. Okay. Let's examine that for just a jiffy. So they've said that the death count. All right, actually, you know what? This is a little bit inaccurate, but let's say this. So they're saying that the fatalities. Prime Minister says the fatalities are around 20,000. Correct? These are all lowballed numbers, but even this is by his words. We're using his words. 20,000 people are dead, according to him. And he's saying that the number of terrorists they killed is 1,203. First off, with all those buildings being crushed and bombed and obliterated, the bodies buried under the rubble, and they're not really digging the bodies out. They're just kind of flattening the ground over it and burying over them. You don't have a proper number. But he's going to say 1,203. So you're telling me, by his words, they have, what is that? Is that a 1% success rate? What is that? I don't math. Is that a 1% success rate? Even by his own words? So the Prime Minister is confessing that they have a 1% success rate in what they're doing, even though they claim they're using an AI to do precision strikes. You're saying 20,000 are dead. I promise you it's more like 200,000. But he's going to gloat that it's 1,203 terrorists you killed out of all those fucking people. You gotta be kidding. And I asked him how many civilians were killed. Netanyahu went on. He said, the Prime Minister, practically none. How do those numbers even fucking work? We're looking at these numbers right here. You're claiming 1,203 terrorists killed, 20,000 fatalities total, at least at the time this article was made. And you're saying the number of civilians, practically none? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm trying not to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that part. Oh, fuck me. Practically none. Jesus. With the exception of a single incident where shrapnel from a bomb hit a Hamas weapons depot and unintentionally killed 24 people, there is practically none. Oh my God. So much for that precision strike shit. Jesus Christ. And this is in their own articles. These people are fucking ridiculous. You want to know why? Because Israel got the civilians out of harm's way. Something people said we could never do, but we did it. No, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. Your own numbers you just said prove you didn't. Jesus. Biden publicly announced May 8th that his administration was not supplying some 2,000-pound and 500-pound shipments to Israel's Rafah invasion. He did it anyway. As he and Blinken lamented high Palestinian death tolls over the course of the war. They still did. Actually, I need to find an article. Oh, I do want to find the whole article, not just count on the. Let's see. Wrong vowel. There we go. There we go. Now I have it ready. Now we'll get to it. Actually, it's. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, now that I have my reference up. I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gotten into Rafah yet, which at the time they were quoting this. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah. To deal with the cities and deal with that problem. Yeah. The move earned swift blowback from congressional Republicans and Democrats because they're all paid off by AIPAC. And the president eventually unpaused the shipment of munitions. Yeah, so he eventually just let them have it. Neither the White House nor the State Department immediately responded to the request for a comment. So, anyway, next article. So while the boxing match that came out pixelated and fucked up on Netflix was distracting everyone, the Pentagon failed its 7th audit. Its 7th audit. And it's like $824 billion are missing. We don't know where it is. Fuck. Man, y'all remember like September 10th of 2001, right before 9/11 happened? And Rumsfeld was like, yo, we lost like $9 trillion. I don't know what the fuck happened. And then the Pentagon fucking got a missile. Because let's be honest, it was a fucking missile. We know it. So, yeah. This shit again. It's 7th audit. If I was audited 7 times, the IRS would throw me in jail. Fuck. These fucking weird-ass squirrely motherfuckers right here. The U.S. Department of Defense confirmed on Friday that the Pentagon failed its 7th consecutive. I feel like Cat Williams. You know what a consecutive is? One right after the motherfucking other. God damn it. The 7th consecutive audit and failed to give a full account of the $824 billion budget. You know what? I'm hoping somebody gets radicalized and does something about this. Fuck. Despite the 7th consecutive audit failure, Pentagon officials claim that the Department of Defense has turned a corner and is making progress toward a clean audit in the next few years. God help me, I swear to God. We're probably going to have a false flag terrorist attack soon to try to distract us from this. And then they'll, of course, blame whatever Muslim people they feel like blaming at that time. But always remember, it's your government's fault. In a Friday press release, the Department of Defense announced that it had released the results of the Pentagon's 7th annual financial audit. I love how they keep saying 7th. They want you to they want to emphasize how fucking stupid this is. Their 7th annual financial audit, which included a disclaimer of opinion indicating that the auditors were not provided with enough information to give an accurate opinion of the department's financial accounts over the year. So, I mean, to be honest, it might be even worse than this. I mean, this is pretty fucking bad. Look at that money right there. I mean, whew, Jesus Christ. You know? New bridges, new roadways. You know, old ladies might have money for their insulin. You know, maybe we wouldn't have veterans sleeping in doorways. You know, whatever. I mean, but you know what? Fuck it, right? $824 billion. But boy, I tell you what, if you're a couple of dollars off when you do your taxes next spring, boy, they're going to try to really give it to you with a sandpaper condom. I guarantee it. But fuck it, right? Whatever. These people are such pricks. According to the press release, the audit was completed by the Department of Defense, an inspector of the Inspector General, and independent public accountants. The Pentagon's 28 reporting entities for the financial audits. 15 received disclaimers. 1 received a qualified opinion. 9 received an unmodified opinion, and 3 opinions are still pending. And they try to tell us what to fucking do. Christ, they can't get their shit straight. Under Secretary of Defense, Comptroller, and Chief Financial Officer Michael McCord indicated on Friday that the Defense Department is making significant progress toward a clean audit. This guy's a fucking clown. Like, dude, I want to see the interview. I want to see if he could say it with a straight face. Because how can you? How can you say that with a straight face? You fucking twits. Despite the disclaimer of opinion, which was expected, the department has turned a corner in its understanding of the depth of and breadth of the challenges. Really? Because I'm pretty sure we've had the Pentagon around for a long time. I figured they would have the hang of this by now. Momentum is on our side, and throughout the department there is a strong commitment and belief in our ability to achieve an unmodified audit opinion. Oh, for fuck's sake. They're like, we'll get this straightened out in a few years. Yeah, I found out about this because of what Elon Musk had tweeted. Let me see if I can go find that real quick. I don't know if I still have that. Listen, people. Shit. Oh, hello, Sashi. We're so glad you're here. Meow to you, Ancient One. Oh, hello, Canada RV. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Al Munson. How are you, sugar? Purr to you, Bone. Right? I mean, that and whoever, I guess U.S. Marshals are about the only ones you can count on to go find trafficked kids. Yeah, so send them too. Like, comfy or re-comfortable or whatever. All right. Let me see. Is this the, no, I think it's over here. Yeah. All right. So Elon Musk has a raised eyebrow. The Pentagon just failed its 7th audit. Can't find that fucking $824 billion. And I'm like, I can make some guesses. Fucking Benjamin Netanyahu drinking some water. Like, I can guess where some of that money went. I mean, the amount they sent is obnoxious, but they've probably been sending extra as well that we don't know about. And that's where part of that is. That in Ukraine. Oh, and also there seems to be some talk. Let me go find it real quick. Oh, damn it. It is. It's actually not the one I was looking for. Is this it? No. I seem to have lost that. Let's take backspace and find it. Nope. I lost the thing I was going to show you. It's okay. Oh, hello, DJ Ronnie. How are you? So glad you're here. Putin cat. All right. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. I hate pop-ups. So, now that we've seen this fucking headache of a mess that they've got here, it's fucking embarrassing as shit. Next article. Oh, let's close that. Federal inmates attacking prison guards. Yeah, I figure we mix it up. I do try to have a little bit of, like, domestic news. Federal inmates attacking prison guards in nationwide trend as lawmakers propose a solution. Right. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have introduced new legislation to address the shocking rate of inmate sex crimes against federal correction officers. Well, considering rape's illegal already, and I'm sure it's like probably a little bit extra illegal to rape a corrections officer, I don't know what bills you're going to fucking introduce. Are you going to make it extra illegal? Jesus. God damn. Seems redundant. The Prison Safety Enhancement Act is a response to the Justice Department Inspector General report that found 40% of Federal Bureau of Prison staffers said they have been sexually attacked by an inmate. That's a lot. That is it is unacceptable that nearly half of the Bureau's prison staff experience sexual harassment or assault by inmates. The Bureau of Prisons must do more to ensure the safety of corrections officers and to hold perpetrators accountable. Well, oftentimes they get their asses beaten there by the guards. I mean, and if someone's doing life in prison, you're just going to add more time onto that? Come on. I guess, as I said, by Laurel Lee, Republican from Florida, who co-sponsored a new bill to fight it. The Prison Safety Enhancement Act will provide oversight to the federal prison system and fight these abuses. The bill was introduced in the House of Representatives. Lee and Hank Robinson, Democrat of Georgia. A Senate version of the was sponsored by Marsha Blackburn and Ossoff, John Ossoff, I guess is his name, and introduced previously. Johnson said the incidents have climbed to unacceptable levels. I assume even one is unacceptable, especially against female officers. The bill gives the Justice Department Inspector General a year to conduct a statistic review of the sexual assaults and harassment cases inflicted on the prison guards by the inmates in a federal prison, or federal prisons, plural, I guess. An analysis of the punishments doled out, and then another 180 days to turn over the report to the Judiciary Committee on each House and Senate. So I do have some ideas. Now, some people may not like my ideas, but some prisons, and I would actually like to see what the comparison is between prisons that allow conjugal visits and the ones that don't, and see if the sexual assaults against the staff are actually lower, possibly, in prisons that allow conjugal visits. Now, we could argue all day on whether or not, they don't deserve to have that. Yeah, okay, I get that. But you got to realize that whatever you do to the prisoners can make it worse for the staff that work there. On top of the fact that, especially if these are people that might get out of jail one day, yeah, you do not want them to be worse leaving jail than they were when they went in. And there are plenty of dipshit people who are happy to form prison romances and marry people who are in jail. So there's probably no end to the amount of volunteers who would probably take on that task. So I think they should probably consider, different things like maybe conjugal visits, because if you take away everything from a person, you take away companionship and freedom, and you just basically make a prisoner in such a way that he has nothing left to lose, that makes him extremely dangerous. You are safer around people who have something to lose. So if conjugal visits are a thing, they might behave better knowing that they will lose their conjugal visit privileges. So not only does old boy get his rocks off, that might blow off some steam, and he may be less likely to sexually attack the staff there. I think it's an idea that should be looked at. And also, because people, whether they're prisoners or not, need companionship, I thought of something cute, and I looked it up, and it is a thing. Rescue cats and inmates transform lives together in a new prison program. I think that sounds fucking fantastic. This is from 2020. Is there anything purer than the love of a pet? Absolutely not. It's amazing. When your dog or cat comes up to you and shows affection, it can be almost impossible not to let out an "aw." Exactly. Felines and offenders rehabilitation with affection, reformation, and dedication. Forward. That's cute. So, obviously there's going to be some people that are so fucking terrible they should not be allowed around an animal. And I get that. But the way these programs are set up is that basically if you're an inmate, you go and you fill out an application. And I assume they go by your behavior in prison, how you've acted, what you're in for. Obviously, if you went to prison because you killed a whole family and their pet, you probably aren't going to get a fucking cat. You know what I mean? Obviously. We got to keep it sensible. But apparently, these programs are doing pretty well, actually. And some of the programs, they use their wood shop to make like little cat trees and like little cat toys and little places for the cats to lounge and shit. It's really cute. And it gives them I mean, look how sweet this is. This is fucking adorable. Look how sweet this is. Like, he would do anything for that cat. I love that. That's a great picture. And because the idea that if a person's going to get out of prison eventually, you want them to be at least somewhat better than when they went in. And, you know, and as much as may hate it, if you treat people like they're a person, they're less likely to become a monster. I mean, they still could, but your chances are less. If you treat people like animals, they will continue to act like animals, or worse. So that's my suggestion for maybe helping out with some of that mess. And our final article of the night, to make you go, what the fuck? Former Vatican official, it's a former one, not even a current one, it's a former one, urges church to adopt a zero-tolerance policy for abusers. Fuck me. We have been hearing about the church abusing people for 50 years, 60 years. It started coming out about 60 years ago, a bit here and there. But we've been hearing and knowing about this for 50 years. And they're still there. And this is 2024 right now. This is November of 2024. And somebody is still trying to get the church to adopt a zero-tolerance policy. Are you fucking kidding me? This should have been a thing from the first day. This should have been from the get-go. As soon as they found out the kids were getting raped and like babies being buried in the fucking backyards and shit in Ireland and all this other crap. How? Fuck. All right. Former top Vatican official who dealt with the clergy's sexual abuses issues joined victims on Monday in urging Pope Francis to enact a zero-tolerance law throughout the global Catholic Church so that any clergy found guilty of abuses would be removed from the ministry. I can't believe you're having to urge somebody to do that. That should have been like the first thing you fucking did. Ugh. Reverend Hans Zollner, a German Jesuit priest who resigned in frustration from the Pope's Clergy Abuse Commission in 2022, was part of the press conference in Rome with Ending Clergy Abuse, an international group of victims. They called on Francis to take a zero-tolerance law adopted by the U.S. Catholic bishops in 2002 and apply it to the entire 1.4 billion member church. I can't believe you have to try to urge him to do this. Zollner, who heads the Center for the Study of Abuse in Rome's Pontifical Gregorian University, said that the church needs a change of knowledge, a change of attitude, and a change of mentality. That is much more than what has been done so far. Francis has made an addressing abuse by the clergy a priority of his 11-year papacy, with mixed results so far. You've been trying this for 11 years and you're still failing at this. God almighty. I can't believe it's been in for 11 years. Damn. 2019, the Pope mandated that all clerical reports of suspicions of abuse or cover-up to the church superiors. But he has not mandated reporting of abuse to civil authorities, except where it's required by law. Where is it not required by law? The U.S. bishops enact their zero-tolerance law with Vatican approval after extensive reporting on abuse scandals in Boston, where priests accused of sexual abuse had been moved from parish to parish for years. At some point, someone's just start tracking down those priests and just vigilanting them motherfuckers, you know? Honestly. The Vatican did not immediately respond for a request to comment about Monday's press conference. Bet not. Vatican officials have in the past pointed to the difficulty of creating a single abuse reporting law for the hundreds of countries in which the church operates. I don't know. Sounds pretty simple. If you know that there is sexual abuse or any kind of physical abuse or whatever going on in your church, somebody fucking report it to the fucking police. And if that doesn't work, beat the fucker half to death in the streets in front of everyone. Whatever kid he abused, let the kid have a stick and let him take a swing at the fucker. I feel like that should be pretty simple. It's only complicated if you're trying to look like you're doing something, but you're actually protecting your friends. Then it's complicated. Other than that, it's not fucking complicated. Get my glasses cleaned off. So, yeah, there's that. I find a priest in the area that's doing that, I will be happy to show you how to do it. Let's move up. I've missed a little bit. All right. Yeah, so in this country, without probable cause, people don't just get investigated. Hi, DJ. However, I might just open up a couple of investigations of a couple of people here, nothing personal. Is that referring to old boy becoming attorney general? Because that's kind of important for people to know, like whether or not he should be attorney general, though. Throw me a bone. I threw a little bone. Prison with pets are less violent. Sounds good. Prison attacks are trending upward. So, well, I mean, they need to figure out what to do to try to get that in hand, but I hope they're not cooking. I doubt that they are. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I guess that stopped a couple of weeks back, right? I watched the video on that prison. Oh, right on. Oh, that's James Bond, I think, right? Just don't go to the Georgia prisons. I will try not to. I try not to go to any prison. Although, who knows, with laws they're making about what's you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. Yeah, you should look up Project Esther about that. If I'm not on the list now, I'm going to be. But, hey, what can you do, right? Well, I mean, other than stopping, I'm not going to stop, so. Anyway. I've depressurized. Got a lot of stuff off my chest there. Oh, also, apparently, whatever. Oh, yeah, I still had to go find that article I was going to tell y'all about. Can't remember what country in Africa they were talking about. But it's something to do with blood diamonds and shit, so. Anyway. Right? It would be so much worse if I didn't do this 2 or 3 times a week. It really would be. You know what? That would be fucking interesting. It would. I mean, I don't know. Onion wants to buy it, but I think, I don't know. Sometimes the Onion is oddly honest. They use humor to veil the truth. So I don't know. Sometimes you can depend on the Onion a little better in some ways than you can real media. It's kind of bizarre. But I don't know. Elon Musk buying InfoWars. That's, I don't know. I mean, that would certainly be his target audience. That's no shit. Hey, Milton. Meow, meow. How are you? Oh, yeah, it is satire. It's just sometimes our regular media is so outrageous that even satire starts to become more honest. It's kind of odd. Bread and butter of my experience. Or existence, I'm sorry. Oh, see, yeah, I would say it's a sham because, like, how... I am curious what grounds a judge has to cancel an agreement between 2 people like that. Like, if one company's like, I'm in trouble, the other company's like, hey, I'll buy you. Well, like, why would somebody get involved? That seems strange to me. That's something I'll probably try to look into if I can. Meow. Well, boys and girls, it's been awesome. Y'all are fabulous. I love y'all so much. I appreciate you so much coming by. I get my little song ready. I have, by the way, I was hoping to show a movie to y'all soon, but I can't find any, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be anything new out that I think y'all will like. So I'm looking at it, and I'm just kind of like, eh. A lot of stupid, like, made for TV Christmas movies are out, and fuck, I hate that shit, and I'm not doing that. Maybe next week some better stuff will come out. I don't know. One of the pages is just not loading at all. I don't know what's happened there, so I'll figure that out later. But when I can find a movie I think y'all will like, I will. Hold on. Whew. It just about is, I think. The Onion was not even the highest bidder. It was not even an auction at all. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see how that plays out. But anywho, y'all are awesome. I love y'all. And I will see you the next day or so. Mwah.
Welcome to the ship show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicament, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.